I just thought I was recording and I wasn't. This is so embarrassing. So I was like, this is the last time I'm filming this because I've literally tried to film this so many times and I keep getting hiccups. There's a baby. I think most of my problem is that of the five things that I read, four of them were memoirs. It's just like kind of not hard, but the memoirs of these people. Okay. Hi guys, I'm here today to do my May 2018 wrap up, and yeah, that's what's happening right now. I did read five things, and I'm going to start talking about them right now. The first thing that I read was Night by Elie Wiesel. Oh my gosh, my cat is so cute. Um, so this is a memoir about his time during the Holocaust, World War II, whatever you want to call it, and his his like specific recounting of what happened to him and his father as they were interned together. And I thought it was extremely well written, extremely powerful. This is a must read. It's very short. I don't know why you haven't read it if you haven't read it. Just kidding, because I hadn't read it until now and I don't want to shame anyone, but like it's really, really powerful and everyone should seriously read it. Yeah, it was so powerful. And like seeing how much this, him as a young boy, like how much he did to try to stay with his father, and like it's just, oh gosh, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. It's just like so heartbreaking and beautiful. Not beautiful because it's horrible, but like it's beautiful, like the love that, like how even in a time of like such like horrendousness, he still, like it wasn't about just him, it was about him and his father. And I just thought that was really, you know, powerful. I will say, and this is the reason that I keep hiccuping, is that his Nobel Peace Prize speech is at the end, and he mentioned some things about Palestine that I'm just like, oh God, you I, that's all I'm going to say about it. It was a good book, though. Please read it. The next thing that I read was another memoir, The Diving Bell and the Butterfly by Jean-Dominique Bauby. And this is translated, I don't know if I mentioned this is translated by his wife, Marion, just in case I didn't mention it. This one is translated also from French. This is translated by Jeremy Legat. And I just saw on the front here that he died 2 days after the French publication of this book, which is crazy. So this is another memoir, another slim book here, and this is a memoir of Jean Dominique and his. So he had locked in syndrome. I don't know why I cannot speak today. It's so frustrating. So Jean Dominique, I believe he was like a journalist. He was the editor of French Elle. So yeah, and he suffered a stroke, and because of the stroke, he basically, got locked in syndrome, which is where you can like you're aware of everything that's happening, but your body, it's like just an empty shell kind of, and your mind is the only thing that's really awake and able to function. And so he was able to write this book by just blinking basically. So I think the person that he was with would say each letter of the alphabet in the order of their usage in French. So like the letters that are used more frequently are towards the beginning, and then he would blink when they got to the letter, and that's how this whole book was written, which is so amazing. Um, I thought that the language was very beautiful, and yeah, it's it's extremely sad though because it's a man with locked-in syndrome. So I thought this was really, really powerful too. I don't really remember a ton of it. It's just like his recollections of. It's kind of like I think like leading up to like what happened a little bit, and then him being in the hospital and just like that kind of portion of his life. So I did think this was very good though, and I'll probably reread it in the future. Sorry, I have like not a lot to say about these books. The next two things that I read were The Arab of the Future 1 and 2 by Riyad Satouf, and this is also translated from French. I was on a French kick, I guess. This is translated by Sam Taylor. I'm pretty sure this is translated from French. Yeah. So this is the story of Riyad growing up. This was interesting. So I do have some things to say now. Okay, so the first volume is 78 to 84. So his first 6 years of life, and he starts off in France and then goes to Libya for a little bit where his father works, and his father is Syrian, so and then the majority of it is in Syria, and then basically the entire one of number two takes place in Syria. Um, so I guess I'm just going to talk about the art style first because I thought that it was really, really wonderful. So it's in black and white, I guess, but like with color. So it's kind of like tinted a little bit, and each like area has a different color. So the places when it's in France, it has this blue coloring. Libya has this orange, and then Syria has this kind of pink. I know it's not actually black and white, but you know what I mean. Like it's very it's not like a detailed like colorful situation. It's very simple, and I thought that was really wonderful. Once I realized that the color scheme kind of went with the location that he was in, I thought it was great. But then I was really naughty and I flipped through to see like where he would be. I don't know why that matters. Not like a spoiler. Oh, did I mention that number two takes place just over 1 year, 84 to 85, so 6 to 7, I guess. So this is in Syria for the most part, and it is okay. So it's my frustration lies in the motherly figure of this book. So his mother is French, she's on the front here. His father is Syrian, and then there's cute little him, and then his little brother. I think brother. I'm pretty sure brother. So since his mother is blonde, he, was blonde as a kid. In the back picture, he doesn't look very blonde, so I don't know if like once puberty hit, things changed. But being a little blonde boy, and especially like at the very beginning when they first move to Syria, and he doesn't really speak Arabic or anything. He is like I don't want to say castigated, but his peers are not fond of him. I guess basically they keep calling him a Jew, which is like, historically there have been problems between Muslim people and Jewish people, and it just so like I feel so bad for him because they keep like, and I don't think that he has any specific like religious affiliation at this point. I mean, obviously not. He's a child. Children don't know anything. So it's just that was hard kind of to like read, just because it's like I see like these are little kids that are saying this kind of stuff. So it's like how parents teach their children hateful behavior, and I just think that's sad. I do, they do live in Syria, so it's like not really a lot of Jewish people, I would say, in Syria. I think I don't really know what the religious makeup of the country is, but I would guess not a lot of Jewish people. And so I don't know. It's just like frustrating. But what I find the most frustrating is, yeah, again, the motherly figure. She's just like she's just nothing. And I feel like this. Sorry, I'm just only gonna hold up one of these because my hand hurts holding up both of them. But I feel like I thought it was so great, but there's so many things that happen that the mom is just like, why are we doing this? And the dad is kind of just like leading the way, charging forward, and the mom is just like, oh, okie doke. Like there's nothing between them. And it's so frustrating. And I feel like the problem is that we're seeing it from Riyadh's perspective. So, but like if I were that woman, I would have left that man a long time ago because he just like isn't paying attention to her point of view. Like I feel like she doesn't matter at all. And so it's so frustrating because I am sure there has to be some kind of love between the two of them or else they wouldn't stay together. But I'm not being shown it. And it's so frustrating. And there's a lot of, I mean, it's just so frustrating. I can't like think of any specific things right now, but like it's like littered throughout both of them, which it's like so frustrating. But I did think that these were both like phenomenal besides that. So you just have to like get like frustrated for a second and then move forward because it is extremely, extremely interesting. I think it's a great story, and I'm like so excited to pick up volume 3 during the summer. I just wish, that there had been a little more like love between the parents, because then I would like buy the relationship a little bit more as opposed to what I saw. It's also really frustrating because like his brother or his father's brother, his uncle, sold his father's land, and so when they moved there they took the house, like the brother gave him their house so they could live in it. So his cousins are like super mad at him because they think that he like it's like the Jew that came and stole his house, basically. Like that's the mentality that they have, and it's so frustrating because there's a lot of like, you know, I don't know. I'm a fan of openness and honesty and like expressing your opinion. And, if you have some kind of problem, like come to me and tell me what, that's the kind of life that I lead. And so it's just so frustrating because I feel like, he says these things to his father and he's like, oh, your cousins wouldn't say that to you. And it's just like, bruh, they did. Okay. So it's frustrating, but good. Sorry. This is like the worst wrap up ever. I apologize. And the last thing that I read was Dear Mr. M by Herman Koch. And this is translated by, oh boy, classy, by Sam Garrett. And so this is translated from Dutch. I absolutely loved The Dinner. That book I thought was so good. This book I don't think was as good as The Dinner, unfortunately. It's like hard. It's not really fair. I shouldn't be comparing this to other works, but I can't really help it. But he does another wonderful, wonderful job. Wonderful, wonderful job of creating horrible, gross, disgusting characters that I like love to read about. I adored this. I just thought it was so great. It's told from multiple perspectives. It starts off like the Caroline Kepnes like you perspective. So the main character, Mr. M, I guess he's the main character. He's like the center point of the whole story. He is an author who wrote this book. Oh, I don't remember what the book was called, but the book was about a young student couple that kind of kills their teacher or something, and it's based on a true story. And so our like it's just so good. Oh boy, Jake's calling me. I guess I'll call him back when I'm done. So it's told from multiple perspectives. The first one is like it's kind of like a creepy stalker, like, oh, you're doing this and da da da. Oh, and your wife is over here and blah 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 blah. And it's just like so intense and creepy. The rest of the book is not intense and creepy like that first chapter, but it is really really fun because you get to see like there are twists and turns and whatever, which I didn't find like super compelling. I think that was a little bit of my letdown with the book was that it seemed not obvious, but like, oh, okay. So that was my disappointment. But you get to see because it's told from multiple perspectives, and so like you only have an impression of the person until you're reading from their perspective, and then you're like, oh, this person sucks, and it's great. I love reading about horrible, horrible characters. So it really hit all of my buttons. And yeah, I don't really the I don't know plot. I don't think is that important. I mean, we're following this guy who has like an obsession kind of with Mr. M, and uh, so it's like their relationship kind of as it builds a little bit, but in general, it's not like super linear. It goes back in time and stuff like that, and so yeah, the plot is just a vehicle for these like horrible characters to flourish, in my opinion. So yeah, I thought that was really, really good. So those are all the things that I read. Sorry, this wrap up was like not good, and I think it's just because of the type of books that I read. It's kind of hard for me to like talk about memoirs, I guess. So because I don't want to like I don't know because it's these people's lives. Plus, I thought they were all good. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I'm having so many difficulties. So yeah, so those were the things that I read. Let me know if you've read any of these or if you want to read any of them. I will link my affiliate links for Book Depository, which I do all the time, by the way. I guess I don't really talk about these kinds of things, but yeah. So like, if you want to follow me on Goodreads and Instagram and whatever, it's there. Okay, I'll talk to you later. Bye.